Good morning and welcome to Glitter Goddess Yoga. Uh, I'm Trent, and today we'll be doing a restore grounding flow. Um, so just a mixture of restorative and grounded. Um, if you would like to keep any props, pillows by your side for today's session, feel free to do so. Uh, let's keep some water by our side to stay hydrated. I'm drinking something different. I'm drinking protein, but that's okay. But everyone else, some water, some tea, or whatever you feel like is nice for you. Um, if anything isn't a part of your practice today, feel free to take a break, go into a child's pose, or feel free to move on to your own practice at one point. If something feels uncomfortable for you to do and you want to switch to a different position that feels more comfortable for you, that's what I mean. So, with that being said, let's get started. So meeting me on your mat, sitting in your comfy seat. Sitting nice and tall. Being mindful of the breath. Inhaling with the nose. Exhaling with the mouth. Sending the breath throughout the entire body. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly drop our head to the right side, right ear to right shoulder, stretching the left sides of our neck. Breathe into your sensations here. Breathe into your stretch. And with control, we're slowly going to rotate the head, rotate the chin towards the chest, stretching the backs of our neck. And with control, rolling the head to the left side, left ear to left shoulder, stretching the right sides of our neck. Breathe into your sensations here. Be mindful of the breath. And slowly with control, rolling the head forward, bringing the chin towards the chest. Once more, stretching the backs of our neck. And rolling the head to the right or left side, rolling the head all the way around, engaging with the muscles in our neck. Breathe into our stretch here. Breathe into the muscles in our neck. And if you haven't already, you and reverse your rotation. Go in the other direction. Slowly bringing your rotation to stillness, bringing the head back to center. Just gently going to roll the shoulders back, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. And tucking the palms inside near the armpits, rotating the elbows in a circular motion, opening up the chest, opening up the throat, being mindful of the breath. And leading with the pinkies, we're just going to open up the arms wide, rotating the arms. And slowly bringing your rotation to stillness, stretching out the arms out long. And we're going to cross over right over left, bending the left arm, dropping the right shoulder, bringing the right arm as close to us as possible. Breathe into our stretch here. Be mindful of the breath. Feel free to circumvent both wrists if that feels good for you. And you can release, open up the arms wide. And we're going to cross over left over right, bending the right arm, dropping the left shoulder, bringing that left arm as close to us as possible. Breathe into our stretch here. Breathe into your sensations. And you can just release, open up the arms wide. And we're going to stretch the arms long out in front of us. We're just going to rotate the wrist. And reverse your rotation. In the other direction. And from here, we're going to flip the palms, fingers facing us, forearms facing out, placing your palms to the floor or your mat. And we're just going to pulsate the wrist, engaging with the forearms. If you feel any tension in the forearms, feel free to add some heat to ease up on that tension. Breathe into your sensations here as well. From here, we're going to flip the palms, placing the backs of the palms into the floor. Still engaging with the wrists, opening and closing the palms, creating a fist. Pulsate the wrist. And you can release, giving the wrist a little shake. We bring them together for a figure eight. And then you can release. Excuse me. And however you want to get there, we'll slowly make our way to tabletop, to all fours. So if you have any cushions, um, blankets you want to use for some support for your knees, feel free to do so at this time. So coming onto all fours. Actually, I'll turn this way. Coming onto all fours. Making sure we're stacked, shoulders stacked above the wrists, hips stacked above the knees. So from here, feeling stacked, feeling strong, being mindful of the breath, we're going to rise up the right arm, opening up the right side, and keeping the hips where they are. We're going to dive the right arm under the left arm, dropping the right shoulder to the floor or your mat. Breathing through your stretch here. Breathing through your sensations. And then your last exhale, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop, rising back up to all fours. And we're going to do the same on the other side, being mindful of the breath. We're going to rise up the left arm, open up the left side. And keeping the hips where they are, we're going to dive the left arm under the right, dropping the left shoulder to the floor. Breathing through your sensations here. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop. And coming back into tabletop, we're going to do a couple cat-cows. Inhaling, tilting the hips, tucking the hips, slight lift of the chin, engaging with the lower back. Exhaling, pushing through the floor, pushing through the upper back. Inhaling for cow. Tucking everything in. Exhaling for cat, pushing through the upper back. And feel free to do a couple cat-cows on your own. Breathing through your stretch, through your sensations, feeling strong. And finishing up on your last cat or cow, bringing the spine back to neutral. We're going to bring the big toes to touch, widen our knees a little bit apart from one another, tip the hips down and back, stretching the arms out long for a child's pose. And still keeping this child pose, we're just going to crawl both hands over to the right side, stretching the left side body, breathing through your stretch here, breathing through the whole left side body. With control, we're going to crawl both hands over to the left side, stretching the right side body, breathing through your stretch here. And with control, slowly crawling both hands back to center. And you can adjust your child's pose. So if you want to go wider or you want to tuck in closer, bring your knees closer, you could do so at this time. Floors. Coming back to all fours. Making sure we're stacked. We're just going to extend the left leg long. We're just going to extend the left leg long, tucking the back toes. And we're just going to pulsate, that left ankle. Engaging with the calf, engaging with the Achilles, the whole left leg. And with control, you can bring that left leg back to meet the right. Extending the right leg long, tucking the back toes. We're going to pulsate this right ankle as well. Engaging with the Achilles, the calves, the whole right leg. And from here, you can bring that left leg to meet the right for a high plank. For a modification for high planks, you can keep the knees towards the floor or your mat, but extend the torso long and keep the torso up nice and strong, engaging with the core. Or you can come to the forearms. If that feels good for you, or you can go into high plank. But whichever plank you choose, using your plank, feeling strong in your plank, engaging with the core, being mindful of the breath, and with control, slowly lowering down towards the floor or your mat. And once you reach the floor, we're going to extend the right arm out long above our heads, tucking the left palm into the floor by our left armpit. We're going to rise up the left leg and drop it over into our right back space. for a twist. And on your last exhale, we're slowly going to bring this left leg back to meet the right. And you can release that right arm, tucking the palm into the floor next to the right armpit. And we're going to extend that left arm long above the head. Rising up the right leg, we're going to push it over into our left back space for a twist on the other side. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly bring that right leg back to meet the left. And you can release that left arm, tucking the palm by the left armpit as well. Pushing into the floor, rising the head, followed by the chin and chest. Going into your up dog, or cobra, or baby cobra. Engaging with the lower back. Breathing through your stretch, your sensations. And with control, we'll slowly lower the chest back down towards the floor or your mat. And when you're ready, pushing into the floor once more, rising up into your up dog, cobra, or baby cobra. Engaging with the lower back. And with control, slowly lowering back down towards the floor or your mat. From here, we're going to tuck the back toes, being ready to push ourselves up into your high plank. So if that means going to the forearms or leaving the knees on your mat or the floor, feel free to do so. But rising up into your high plank or your plank, feeling strong in your plank, engaging with the core. And with control, slowly lowering back down towards the floor or your mat. Chaturanga. Rising up into up dog or cobra. From here, we're going to tuck the back toes, pushing the hips up and back, rising the knees up off the floor. We're downward facing dog. Feel free to have a slight micro bend in your knees, pedal the feet. With control, you can walk the hands towards the feet. Go forward fold.
Bending the knees and slowly rising up all the way to standing.
And once you reach standing, palms by your side, heart open, throat open. Feeling grounded in the feet. Inhaling, rising the arms up above our heads for extended mountain pose. Exhaling, swan diving, hinging at the hips, lowering down into your forward fold.
Hanging heavy here in your forward fold. Slight micro bend in the knees. Inhaling, pressing on the shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, pressing on the shins. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, once more, pressing on the shins. Exhaling, forward fold, bending the knees, belly on top of thighs. And on your last exhale, we're going to place the hands into the floor. We're going to walk the feet back into your high plank.
Feeling strong in your plank. And with control, we're slowly going to lower down towards the floor or your mat. Chaturanga for up dog and cobra. Tucking the feet, rising the knees up off the floor, pushing the hips up and back.
For a downward facing dog.
And holding this downward facing dog, we're going to rise up the right leg.
Bending the right knee.
And we're going to float that right knee towards the chest. And we're going to plant that foot between the palms. If you have some cushion or a pillow,
And you can release that left knee to the floor or your mat. Adding that support to the knee. Making sure we're stacked. Making sure the knee is stacked above the ankle. Leg reaching nice and back.
and when you're ready, you can rise up, placing both palms on top of the thigh, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. On your last exhale, we're going to release the left palm, framing the inside of the right foot. And we're going to rise up the right arm for a twist. Breathe into your sensations here. And you can release, bringing this right arm down, framing the right foot.
And you can rise that left knee up off the floor.
Coming up
into this little lunge here. We're going to rotate that back ankle.
and we're going to first open into Warrior Two.
Making sure we're stacked. Knees still stacked above the ankle.
Left leg reaching out nice and long. Flipping the front palm, reaching forward, up and back.
Breathe in through the whole right side. And leading with the right elbow, we're gonna rotate the left side. You can rest the right arm on the right thigh. Stretching the whole left side. Breathing into the whole left side as well. And on your last exhale, you can release, framing this right foot once more, coming back down into this low lunge. You can bring this right foot back to meet the left, going into your high plank, and slowly releasing down into the floor. Resting here for a moment. And slowly with control, pushing into the floor, rising up into up dog or cobra. Tucking the back toes, rising the knees up off the floor, pushing the hips up and back for another downward facing dog. I'm just gonna adjust myself here. And holding this downward facing dog, we're gonna rise up the left leg, bend the left knee. And we're gonna float that left knee towards the chest. We're gonna plant that foot between the palms, coming into this low lunge here. And if you have a pillow or a blanket or some cushion, and you would like to support that right knee, feel free to do so at this time. Also, feel free to take a sip of water at this time. Okay. So making sure we're stacked here in this low lunge, knees stacked above the ankle, leg reaching nice and long. And when you're ready, rising up, placing both of the palms on the thigh, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. Feeling strong here in your high lunge. Breathe into your sensations here. And on your last exhale, you can release the right palm, framing the inside of the left foot. And from here, we're going to rise up the left arm for a twist. Breathe into your stretch here. And on your last exhale, you can release this left palm, framing the left foot. And you can lift up that right knee off the floor or your mat. Here in this low lunge, we're going to rotate that back ankle into the floor. We're going to burst open into Warrior Two on the other side, making sure we're stacked. Arms up, arms reaching nice and long. We're going to flip the front palm, reaching forward, up and back. Stretching the left side body. Breathe into your sensations here. And when you're ready, rotating, leading with the left arm, placing that left arm on the left thigh, and stretching the right side nice and long. Being mindful of the breath. Breathe into your stretch. And on your last exhale, you can release, framing this left foot once more, coming down here in slow lunge. And bringing this left foot back to meet the right. dropping the knees into the floor, and going into your child's pose here. And however you want to get there, we'll slowly make our way to our sits bones. Immediately on our sits bones, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to tuck in the left leg, keeping the right leg long. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to crawl the hands down the right leg, grabbing the shin or the foot, and hinging at the hips, using the breath as a guide to lower your chest closer and closer towards your leg. And once you reach your limit, feel free to round your spine. Being mindful of the breath, breathing through your stretches. And on your last exhale, you can release, bringing the spine back to neutral. With the right palm, we're going to reach over, grabbing the left knee, rising up the left arm. I'm just going to stretch over. Breathe into your stretch here. Breathe into the whole left side. And on your last exhale, you can release, bringing the spine back to neutral. We're going to release the left leg, and we're going to tuck in the right. Keeping that left leg nice and long, right leg tucked away, spine reaching nice and long. And hinging at the hips, grabbing the shin, crawling the hands down the leg, and then hinging at the hips. Using your breath as a guide to lower your chest closer and closer towards your left leg. And once you reach your limit, you can round your spine. And on your last exhale, you can release, bringing your spine back to neutral. With the left palm, we're going to reach over, grabbing the right knee, rising up the right arm, and we're going to reach over with the right arm. Breathe into your stretch here. Breathe into the right side. Ooh. On your last exhale, you can release, bring the spine back to neutral, releasing the right leg as well. And we're going to bend both of the knees, both knees facing towards the sky. You're sitting up nice and tall. We're going to stretch out the arms out, long in front of us, and slowly, with control, using our core to lower ourselves towards the floor without straightening our legs. And once you reach the floor, you can release your legs. From here, we're going to rise up the right leg. And with control, we're going to grab the backs of the right leg, the calf or the shin. Give a slight micro bend in the left leg. We're going to bring this right leg as close to us as possible. Feel free to rotate that ankle, flex and point. And with control, we're slowly going to release that right leg into the floor, giving that right leg a slight micro bend. And we're going to rise up the left leg into the sky, grabbing the calf or the shin. And bringing that left leg as close to us as possible. Flexing that left ankle. Feel free to up and duck that ankle too. And on your last exhale, you can slowly release the left leg back into the floor, bringing the feet together like a prayer, opening up the knees wide, Incline Butterfly. Now, if you have cushions or pillows and you would like to place them on the outside of your leg, like so, feel free. You can place the pillows under the knee, like so, or you can place a cushion or a blanket under your lower back for some support. On the last exhale, keeping the right leg where it's at, we're going to extend the left leg long. And with the left palm, we're going to grab the outside of the right knee. And we're going to place that right knee over to the front, to the left side for a twist for the front. Breathing through your sensations here. Breathing through your twists. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly release that right leg. Bring the right leg back to meet the left. And we're going to bend the left leg. With the right palm, we're going to grab the outside of the left knee. And we're going to place it over to our right side for a twist on the other side. And holding this position here, I'll be right back. And on the last exhale, you can slowly bring that left leg back to meet the right. And with control, we're going to rise up our hips into the sky, legs reaching out nice and long into the sky as well. And grabbing the outsides of our feet for happy baby. And feel free to give yourself a gentle rock or sway. And with control, slowly curling up into a little ball. And on your last exhale, you can release all your limbs into the floor. Palms resting by your side. And if you want to get comfortable, feel free to add your props. You can use them as some support for your lower back, some cushion for the head. Or feel free to cover yourself up. But lying here, resting here, palms open towards the sky or face down, if you're feeling grounded. And then now going into Savasana, corpse pose. toes. Create some slight movement back to the body. And rolling onto the right or left side for a moment of comfort. Pushing up into your seated position to end for 4 closing breaths. When you're ready, meeting in your comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring the palm, excuse me, bring the palms at heart center, on top of the heart, or resting both palms on top of the knee. A breath for the indigenous people and our ancestors who was here before colonization. Breathing in. A breath to thank ourselves for our practice today. Breathing in. A breath to thank others, others for their support. Breathing in. And a breath for our virtual yoga community and for future yoga virtual classes and future yoga classes and coming together and just feeling together as oneness. Breathing in. The human in me bows down to the human in you. Namaste. And thank you for joining me in today's practice. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a few quick friendly reminders. So, classes on every Tuesday and Friday. Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. and Fridays at 9 p.m. now. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So tune in, comment down what you want to see more of. And let us know. This wouldn't have been possible without the Providence Community Libraries. So shouts out to them for making these classes happen. Again, we are the Glitter Goddess Collective. I'm Trent. Oh, you can Venmo us at the Glitter Goddesses. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for practicing with me today.